Good morning and actually good evening, Jim. It's really nice to see you again. It's been many years since we met in person. And so I'm very happy to have you tonight on the SpeedShare 3 questions, 3 minutes. As I explained to you, the idea of this little interview with you is just to give our audience some really interesting content about the Chinese market. First of all, I'll just say a few words on SpeedShare. SpeedShare was started about 10 years ago now, and the idea of SpeedShare is just to help Western companies in the motorsport, automotive, motorcycling, and power sport business to go into the Asia market, and also specifically in the Chinese market. We are based both in Hong Kong and in Montreal, Canada. These are our 2 offices, and we help a number of clients, mid-sized companies to very large companies, to try to get into the Asian market and help them understand and navigate. If you want to say a word about your company, it will be really interesting, and then we'll go into the different questions.
Sure, yes. Hi, everyone. And Goldenport is founded 20 years ago. We manage multiple circuits in China, and we are promoters of a number of national and international series. For example, China GT. Look, GT. So we are the promoters and organizers of China GT, which is a FI sanctioned GT3 series. Plus, there's a GT4 from SRO, and of course GTC from China. Excuse me. And it has been a tough years for the last 2 years. It has been a tough time for the last 2 years for the pandemic, but we survived, and because our unusual business models. Our business park is more than just a circuit. We have a lot of business dealership, the automobile dealership surrounding the track. So we have steady incomes from those dealerships. And for the last 2 years, we are doing e-gaming. And of course, we do the metaverse also. And we're doing go-karts. The go-kart bringing us a good business. Even though we cannot have a big crowds for our championship, but for the outdoor go-karts, it seems the business quite well. So that's why we built multiple go-kart track for the last 2 years. And we are investing and merge another go-kart circuit recently, so that the number of go-kart double and tripled for the coming years. Actually, for this year, we are already in 2022 now. So that's a brief introduction of Goldenport.
That's great. Thank you, Jim. And I mean, myself, I've been multiple times to your place and the area and Goldenport circuit. And it's true that the model is very different from the usual racing circuit. It's really based a lot on commercial and, as you said, dealership. And it's very unique, and all the top brands actually in the world have a base over there. So I totally, I think this is a really unique model and very interesting. So you said briefly, but my first question to you is, how have you managed 2020 and 2021 and succeeded in doing motorsport? But so you already replied partially to that, saying that your model is different, and because of your model, you could survive basically and keep your business going because of all the dealership income and around the circuit. Is there been any racing in 2020 and 21 that happened, or everything was canceled, and how did that work?
Of course, our championship has been canceled again and again. Usually we scheduled, in the beginning of the year, we scheduled 6 events, 12 rounds on the 6 locations, but we're only able to do 2. We're only do Shanghai and Zhuhai, and the rest of it has been canceled again and again. And the year before that, which is the 2020, we only do 1 event in Macau. So okay. Last year we just do 2 events, 1 in Shanghai, okay. 1 in Zhuhai, for 2 rounds in Shanghai, 2 rounds in Zhuhai.
Okay, that's yeah. It's been a bit similar in everywhere in the world, and it's hopefully this year is your calendar this year a little bit different, or is it still some races are canceled this year again?
For this year, we have full calendars, but our our calendar actually starting last year, we call the super season. The super season is that it lasting more than just 1 year. It can lasting for 2 years or 3 years. That means for our sponsors, we tell them that we're going to do 6 events for you anyway, but the time lap will be more than just 12 months. For example, we do 2 events last year, and this year our first event will be the count number 3 events for last year. So we call it super seasons.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's interesting, and that actually goes into my second question, which is how have you adapted to the new reality in 2021 and beyond? And obviously, you already partially replied is that you have a super season, so that's one way to adapt is to have a similar platform for the sponsors and the partners, but have it on a longer period of time.
Right.
And you also mentioned karting, and you mentioned e-gaming. You want to say a bit more about this?
Okay, first we talk about e-gaming. E-gaming we call the virtual championship. So China GT virtual championship. Then we do it online. So the same driver, same teams, we do it online. So online, so that we have our championship continue. And this year, of course, we're going to parallel. That means on the same day, on the same location, there will be a e-gaming China GT the virtual championship held the same time as our real championship. So that's one way that to keep our sponsor happy and to keep the team alive and to keep the driver happy. And the other is a go-kart. So go-kart is really bring a good business, you know, for the COVID-19. That means you cannot have crowds. You don't want to have don't want too many people in the indoor. But we do the outdoor, and go-kart is certainly a good event. So that for a lot of school kids, they love to be outdoors, and we're doing very well for our go-kart for last year, and there will be more circuit we are going to invest or manage, and the number just keep multiplying now.
That's great, and it's funny because you know also we met and we actually with some people of your team to talk about go-karting a few years ago and to talk with an Italian go-kart brand, and there has been a trend the last few years to have every go-kart track indoor, and now actually outdoor is probably the best way with the situation. So it's quite funny the reversal of the situation.
Yeah, so outdoor is the government won't put will be very pleased with outdoor. They encourage people to go outdoor, and outdoor is much more fun. So outdoor, even though it's winter, for example, for last few days it's so cold. It's a minus like a 5 degree centigrade Fahrenheit in Beijing, but I still see a full house. Still, the little young kids are playing, the racing.
Excellent. Well, that's great. And so my last question to you is, what is your feeling about the motorsport and automotive market in China? You know, from now on, what is your personal feeling?
It's a tough time for everybody, because when you do a motorsport, you can only have thousand people on the ground, and that's a motorsport. As you know, that you need a lot of people, a lot of audience, spectators on the spot. Otherwise, will be there. The sponsor will reduce the budget. So it's a hard time for everybody for the motorsport. But for the automobile industry in overall, it has been good because the shortage of the chips. So the price of the cars are going up, no matter imported car or domestic manufactured cars. The price is actually going up. Just China, same as the U.S. And the electric cars, you know, the business has been very good. So last year doubled than the year before, and this year the number going to be around 8 million of electric cars to be sold in China. So electric car business is very, very good. So we're starting our GTE. That means we're going to use the battery powered, electric powered GT, and we've been developing for a few years now. So now it's time for us to roll out for this year. The race at the same time as our China GT, GT3, GT4.
Okay, excellent. Wow, that's that's really good. Excellent. Well, it's very interesting. Thank you very much, Jim, for taking the time to have these brief questions and introduction about your company and having a quick discussion. I think it will be very interesting information to our audience. And I'll look forward to speaking to you in the near future. Thank you, Jim.
Sure, let's keep in touch. In a couple months' time, we'll start our season, or actually, middle of the seasons.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much.
Okay. Good night. Bye.